In K-pop, success and hate go hand in hand, but no company's groups face more widespread criticism, scrutiny, and hostility than those under Hybe. Whether it's BTS, 17, TXT, Hype, La Seraphim, or Islet, these artists are constantly at the center of fan wars, media scandals, and industry bias. Despite their undeniable talent and achievements, hype groups are often labeled as privileged, overhyped, or industry plants, as if their success is artificial rather than earned. While all big K-pop companies receive backlash, the intensity and frequency of the attacks against hype idols make them the most hated in the industry. So, why exactly are hype groups hated more than any others? Let's get into it. The biggest reason hype groups face so much hate is because Hybe itself has become the most powerful company in K-pop. Before BTS's rise, the industry was controlled by SM, JYP, and YG, the big three agencies. They dictated the trends, had exclusive access to the best promotions, music show slots, and endorsements, and made sure their groups remained at the top. Then Hybe came along and shattered that hierarchy, proving that a smaller company could surpass the big three with talent and strategy alone. This shift made older companies and their fans extremely bitter and defensive. Suddenly, SM, JYP, and YG groups weren't guaranteed dominance anymore, and HYBE groups began sweeping album sales, chart records, and major awards. This led to a huge backlash from older fandoms, who felt that their favorites were being replaced by hype artists. Rather than admitting that hype simply outperformed the competition, they created a false narrative that hype groups only succeed due to corporate manipulation and unfair advantages. The irony is that other big agencies have been doing the same thing for decades, debuting groups with huge budgets, aggressive marketing, and pre-established fanbases.
Yet, Hybe is the only company that gets accused of rigging the industry. The truth is, people aren't mad that Hybe plays the game. They're mad that Hybe is winning.
Another major factor in the hate hype groups receive is BTS's legacy. BTS isn't just a successful group, they are the most influential K-pop act of all time, and their global impact is impossible to ignore. Because Hybe was built on BTS's success, every new group into the company is automatically compared to them, setting them up for unrealistic expectations and backlash. For other groups, this means no matter how well they do, they're never good enough. If they succeed, people say it's only because of Hybe's money and BTS's reputation. If they struggle, they're mocked for being flops even with Hybe's resources. This is deeply unfair, as no other company's artists face this level of scrutiny. JYP's girl groups aren't expected to match Twice's success, and YG's rookies aren't constantly compared to Blackpink. But every hype group is forced into BTS's shadow. This creates a lose-lose situation for hype groups. They either become hated for being BTS copies, or hated for not being BTS-level icons. This obsession with comparing every hype group to BTS completely erases their individual artistry and fuels a constant cycle of resentment and criticism. K-pop fans have always been territorial and aggressive when it comes to protecting their faves. But the rise of hype has made the fan wars even more toxic. Because hype groups consistently sell the most albums, win the biggest awards, and dominate global charts, they automatically become the main enemy of rival fandoms. This leads to organized hate campaigns, false plagiarism accusations, and constant attempts to discredit hype idols. Every time a hype group wins a major award, there are instant hashtags accusing them of buying or rigging the award. If they top the charts, people accuse them of chart manipulation, despite the fact that their streaming numbers and global fanbase prove otherwise. This isn't just casual criticism, it's a deliberate, coordinated effort to make sure hype groups are seen as undeserving, manufactured, and overhyped, regardless of their actual success. What makes it worse is that this hate often turns into personal attacks on the idols themselves. Members of hype groups face some of the most vicious online harassment in the industry, with people going as far as spreading fake scandals and making serious accusations just to damage their reputations, all because they're under hype. Instead of judging these groups based on their music or talent, they're immediately labeled as frauds before they even get a chance to prove themselves. Another major reason why Hybe idols face so much hate is the idea that they have an unfair advantage from the start. Because Hybe is the biggest entertainment company in Korea right now, people assume that every trainee who debuts under them has an automatic golden ticket to success. This leads to constant accusations that Hybe idols are spoon-fed their careers rather than earning them through talent and hard work. The reality, however, is much more complicated. While it's true that Hybe has the best resources, producers, and marketing strategies, this doesn't guarantee success. Plenty of groups from big agencies have struggled to gain traction, proving that a big company name isn't enough to secure a group's future. Some Hybe groups still have to work hard to build loyal fan bases, release strong music, and stand out in a crowded market. Despite this, every time a Hybe group succeeds, their achievements are dismissed as the result of corporate backing rather than actual talent. People refuse to believe that these idols train just as hard, sacrifice just as much, and face just as many struggles. It's as if the moment they sign with Hybe, they lose all credibility in the eyes of the industry. This double standard is what makes the hate towards Hybe groups so frustrating. When other big company idols succeed, they're praised for their talent. But when Hybe idols do the same, they're accused of having no struggle, no passion, and no authenticity. At the core of it all, Hybe groups are the most hated in K-pop because they represent change. Their success challenges the old power structure, and many fans don't want to accept that. This leads to relentless attacks, conspiracy theories, and smear campaigns, all aimed at tearing them down. But despite all the hate, Hybe groups continue to dominate, proving that their success isn't just about money, it's about talent, hard work, and global appeal. No amount of bitterness, false accusations, or fan wars can change the fact that Hybe groups are winning just as other successful groups out there. So while they will likely remain the most hated groups in K-pop, they will also continue to be among the most successful. Because at the end of the day, history remembers winners, not the people who tried to bring them down.